Brooke and Chase. Tonight, we'll spotlight the country music stars from Oklahoma, including Reba McEntire and Garth Brooks. We'll go in the recording studio for some new music from Sammy Kershaw. Legendary songwriter Jimmy Webb performs for us live. Dwight Yoakam talks about his success in country music. Plus,
getting them warmed up.
The fabulous and very famous Jimmy Webb is our next guest, but he's going to have to sit tight for a minute because we want to brag on him, just so you know exactly who this guy is. He has written songs in the past like By the Time I Get to Phoenix, Wichita Lineman, Galveston, All I Know by Art Garfunkel, Up, Up and Away, The Highwayman, Didn't We, and MacArthur Park.
But
it's just a few of them.
Did he write anything big? But anyway, a partial, I mean, we have a whole list of some of the artists who have recorded his music. Linda Ronstadt, Richard Harris, Glenn Campbell, Kenny Rogers, Tanya Tucker, Cher, Streisand, Sinatra, Supremes, Johnny Mathis, Sammy Davis Jr., Chet, Harry Belafonte, Andy Williams, Tony Bennett, Ray Charles, Bob Dylan.
Oh, stop. He's getting a big head over there.
It goes on and on and on. A remarkable talent, really. And the song he's doing tonight, this is his version. He's the man who is responsible for the Highwaymen. Here's how it sounds from the writer, the original. Here is Jimmy Webb.
I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, with a sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier left his lifeblood on my blade. They finally hung me in the spring of 25, but I'm still alive. I was a sailor, and I was born upon the tide, and with the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner round the Horn to Mexico. I went aloft to furl the mainsail in a blow, and when the yards broke off, they say that I got killed, but I'm a living still. Perhaps I always will, I don't know. I was a dam builder across the river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide. A place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the wet concrete. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound, but I'm still around. Seems like it all goes round and round, around and round and round. Yes, it does. Oh, and here we go. I'll fly a starship across the universe divide, and when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again, or I may simply be a single drop of rain, but something will remain, and I'll be back again. I'll be back again. Yes, I will. Oh, and here we go. But we'll all be back again. Yes, we will. Oh. back again. Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Let me brag on just a little bit on the personal side while he catches his breath here. We were sitting there talking a lot, you know, and you realize the accomplishments of this man sitting here. He's been referred to as one of the masters of American music.
A genius.
He's very humble. He's very humble. That doesn't faze you.
If this
I mean,
keeps up, I'm just going to leave.
I know you're just going to faint right here.
Can't take it.
But no, I mean, you're the kind of guy who could probably say, peel me a grape now. But see, you're not like that. You're down to earth. Very nice man. It's nice to have you on the show.
It really is a thrill to meet you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What can he say?
Well,
What can I say? I owe it to my mom.
well,
who's
Mom.
really not. She left us quite a while ago, actually, when I was about 16 years old. But I was raised in southwestern Oklahoma, and
another Okie, yes.
my father was a Baptist preacher, and when you're a Baptist preacher's son, you have to learn modesty. It's one of the first things you have to learn.
You've learned it well. Well, now, as we were talking, you've done so many things, and your work has appeared in movies, television, theater, running the whole gamut. And people may not realize that you are a solo artist as well, although it's been, what, about a decade since you released a solo project?
A decade even sounds longer than 10 years.
Yeah, it does.
Well, now, you shouldn't have waited so long, but you're getting ready now to go into the studio, correct?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I got some new tunes, and I've been playing around the country for the last couple of years, really just working on my chops. And my partner in crime, Linda Ronstadt's going to produce my album. She and I have been...
Boy.
I've been writing some tunes for her for several years on her albums, and on her last album, Cry Like a Rainstorm, Howl Like the Wind, I had 4 songs on that album, God bless her.
Did you write Adios?
Yeah, I wrote it.
That is the most, I bow at your feet. That is the most beautiful song.
My dear. Well, let's see you do it.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't just sit there, you know.
No.
Okay, all right. All right.
Well, he asked me. I mean, you know.
What?
My goodness, I have to watch what I say.
I know. Especially on live television, you never know what she's going to do. One thing I want to point out, when a lot of these classic songs that you have written, by the time you get to Phoenix and MacArthur Park and all those, were written when you were what? 17? 18?
Well, I went professional really by necessity when I was about 17 years old. Because we were living in California, and my father moved back to Oklahoma and took the whole family, and I didn't want to go. So I stayed out there, and I didn't have much going for me as far as being a student goes. I don't want to talk about that. I really hit the streets. You know, I put my songs under my arm and said, if I'm ever going to do anything with this, I guess I'm going to have to do it now.
Those were pretty grown-up songs to be being carried around by a teenager. Now, you look back on it, you have really mastered your craft. I mean, your talent continues to expand. When you look back on the songs that you wrote as a teenager, you have to say they were pretty good.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
well, I know you're proud of them, but could you have written them differently now, you think?
Well, I don't think they're ever finished.
That's interesting.
I just don't think songs are ever finished. I listen to them now, and all of a sudden I hear a line, and I just think, boy, I wish I could write that one again.
Something you'd want to change in just about every one
Do
of
you
them.
spend a lot of time spinning your wheels and just going over it and over? It seems like that's what you're saying. That
Well, I rewrite a lot more now than I used to, because I don't like those moments. I don't like to listen to a song and think, well, I could have had a better line, you know, there at the end of that first verse, you know. And I don't like those moments as a professional. So there are times when I listen to things that have been on the radio and they've been hits, and I listen to them and I go, ouch, you know. Like that.
Really?
And so I spend, I think, you know, I'm 46 years old, so I think that when I started all this, I was 16,
Just
you
a
know.
kid.
So I hope I've learned something. I mean,
bet
there
you
are some people
People
who
have learned from you, man. You don't have to worry
there's
about
some
that.
people who would argue with me on that point. But
Well, No, don't say that.
But I really don't think, I don't know how many songwriters I've ever talked to would ever disagree with this particular idea, which is that a song really is never finished. I mean, you can always think of something else to do to it. At a certain point, you got to stop and give it to somebody else.
Well, let's see how he changes things tomorrow night here in Nashville. You will be performing at 328 Performance Hall. And this is your last solo performance before going into the studio to record your first album in quite a while with Linda Ronstadt, who is your producer. And you can write to Jimmy Webb. He has an address here, Jimmy Webb Music Company, 890 Broadway, New York, 10003. And like we said, it's really fun having you on the show tonight.
Thank you.
And he's also, I'll add this, he's also a great speller. We had an argument about how to spell vicissitude. He got it right, I got it wrong. So, hey, you know, you're the writer.
How often does it come up?
Yeah, I know.
Well, it did today.
Well, listen, why don't you go ahead and bow at his feet again, and we'll take a break. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Thank you.